Our world is changing. It's going digital now. And so is our work environment. Trends and tools used in our daily activities are. So today we have a seasoned HR practitioner with years of experience, I must say, to throw more light on HR tech trends in our businesses today, especially in the region of Ghana. Deborah, you're welcome.
Hey, it's me. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for your glowing introduction. And I'm really excited that we get to discuss this topic as relates to technology and when it comes to people management processes. Because in my work with small business owners, so I have an HR consultancy that focuses on helping small businesses and startups. And I'm consistently amazed at how those tools enhance their capability when it comes to being able to foster and create thriving work environments. And even with them having limited access to human resource expertise and professionals, they're still able to do so much because these tools are extremely useful and potent. So it's for me, I think it's really good that every business can start taking advantage of these tools so that they can have the freedom to focus on more pressing aspects of HR that are coming up because of the changing nature of work today.
Right. And I must say, it's a very broad topic and an interesting one. So we'd like to take it bit by bit. So would want to know if there has been any change so far in the HR space.
Yes, there's been so much, and I'm so. I mean, I when I started in HR, I remember walking into a banking institution at the time. I was going to work as a learning and development officer. And on the tour of the HR department, we went to a room that was called the file room. And it was just made up of cabinets with so many drawers. And we had so much, we just file after file for every single employee. And we had about 200 employees at the time. So we had a file for everybody, and every single one of them had in each file you had their CVs, their educational certificate, dependents, like every kind of information. So if you had to go and find somebody's file, someone has pages in the wrong cabinet, it would take forever to find it. And then you had some of the sheets falling out, so you'd be losing information. So that's where I started from. And as you can see, I mean, compared to what we see now, that was a very inefficient way, right? And the accuracy, there were so many errors when we had to find information. It was we spent so much time, and that was how it started. Then soon we started to find out that something called human resource information systems. And that really helped us. So now we started inputting the information onto software that used to have to be installed on a desktop. And now was things were getting better. We could retrieve information easily. We could refer and reduce some of the inaccuracies, and we're saving a lot more time, right? But even with that, I remember we still wanted to keep the paper files for backup. And then from there, we saw ATS that to come into the picture. So again, still the cloud hadn't come yet, so it was still on the desktop. So now there was recruitment software that was helping to streamline recruitment processes, make it easier to handle the large volumes of applications that you typically receive. So things started to get better. Then the internet was kept booming, right? And then so many websites, social media, and then that really opened up for HR a new world when it comes to how to reach talent. So now you could reach people all over the world with your job postings when you post on job boards like Indeed, Glassdoor, LinkedIn, and now we're even using social media when we want to target specific generations. So, and it didn't stop there. Then the software started to go into the cloud, and now they have subscription models that are affordable, and now businesses of all sizes can now get access to software, right? That can help them with recruitment, with performance management, with learning and development, onboarding, and things have gotten easier. Now we have to we are starting to learn how we are going to add AI and data analytics to even make things even better. So there's been a very good transition from the days when I went to meet a file room to now having access to all these tools that are making things completely easy for HR people.
Right. In your submission, you mentioned tools for recruitment, tools for tracking your performance. Are these tools enhancing HR admin in any way?
Absolutely. So currently, because of this, like I was saying how inefficient we used to be at the time. I mean, in hindsight is when we can say how inefficient we were at the time, right? But now we can see that there's a lot of efficiency and automation, right? Thanks to these tools. So now that you're able to have access to information faster, you're able to store information and then make more accurate or find accurate ways of retrieving them and using them. Things are like way better for HR. And then now we are able to make data driven decisions. So now HR is no longer relying on information that is outdated or our own subjective feelings or what we think we know. But now we are actually making decisions based on data, right? Companies like Google and Apple are leading this, right? And this is like really changing the way we're making decisions to ensure that the decisions we are making are first ensuring that people who come to work can achieve the goals that have been set for them, and also ensure that the business goals are also being achieved. And now with recruitment, things are looking it's first you have access to a very wide pool of talent, and so at first you only had to make do with the talent you had in the geographical area you were in. Now that's not the story anymore. You can be in Ghana and be working for a company in Canada. Now those companies have access to global talent, and so do we, right? Thanks to these tools that have become available. And it's same for the tools that are allowing us to be able to process candidate applications, to review them, and to select. All those things have become faster. So it's not too stressful when you have to find like who will be a great fit for any role that is available in the business. And then employee engagement. There's been so many studies to show that when employee engagement is higher, retention is higher, performance is higher, right? And so having tools that allow us to facilitate discussions and to create activities that help employees feel like the work they're doing is worth their time, and so they shouldn't come in. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about quiet quitting. So people are going to work and then we think that, oh, they are doing work, but really they've shut down at some point and then they're just doing routine tasks. So we're not getting the best of them. Now, there are tools that can help you to eliminate that. You can, the feedback platform that allow employees to give feedback on the things that are going on in the company to help us make decisions that would better suit them so that they can come to work and show and get their best in the business, right? And then another side that has been really touched that's so important is training and development. I worked as a learning and development officer, and it was so costly to run trainings, like all the logistics that were involved. Now those things have been made a lot more simpler. So even though, yes, people still have in-person trainings, there's still need for that. Now we can have a lot more avenues for learning and growth because we have all these learning platforms which employees themselves can access, and they can personalize their own training programs and choose courses that they think are necessary for the roles that they're in and for their own career growth. And then some of these have become so interesting that they can be gamified and make the whole learning experience very enjoyable for people. So in these areas, we can see a lot of what is being done, or a lot of what we are, or a lot of what technology is doing for human resource service delivery in various sectors of and various parts of the world, right?
Right. We also want to remind participants of our chat box. Kindly feel free to put in your comments if you have questions for Deborah, HR space, you can put the questions there, and then we'll do well to when it's time for the questions and answers. Deborah, I'm pretty sure our participants on the call want their businesses to be top notch. Are there any tools that are being used currently? If yes, can you throw more light on those tools and how they are used in our businesses today?
Okay. So currently, there are certain tools that, by all means, you should not overlook, right? There are certain aspects of the business that definitely will be done over and over again. And when those aspects are done really well, the results and the impact that they have on the business is very significant, for our say. And the areas that I think are really key are recruitment and onboarding, learning and development, performance management, and then when it comes to making data-driven decisions. So the first I'll talk about recruitment and onboarding. With recruitment and onboarding, you definitely need to look into an applicant tracking system that can help your business attract post jobs, attract really good candidates, and that can make that whole process extremely easy for you. So some of these tools can help you to rank the candidates that you receive based on keywords that you put into the system. And then it can help you to schedule sessions, the interviews with them. Some of them are collaborative so that the whole recruitment team can keep looking at some of these CVs, leave comments, and makes the whole process extremely easy and fast. So that whenever you have to undertake recruitment, it's not a chore, right? But you can actually leave the administrative and the site that can be automated to a tool to do it. And then you can focus on the main parts on looking at, okay, so making the decisions that have to do with what should I be looking out for if I want to hire candidates who can do A, B, or C, and how should we conduct these sessions so that we can get the best results out of it, right? So when that side, which is the administrative side, is taken over by a tool, you can focus on the more important things that have to do with the actual person and how you can make sure that you're getting the right person for the role that you have available. The other is performance management. Because performance management is such that without performance, the business is in trouble, right? And performance is not just for the business, but also for the team. When people come in and then they're challenged, everyone is growing. There's so many things that you are learning that's new. You're working with teammates that are really good, and so you are learning from them. It's really motivating for the entire team. So it's important that as a business, we have tools that facilitate tracking performance and providing support for people to be able to meet the goals that we set for them. And with that, there's several goal tracking platforms or tools that are available to help you set what we call SMART goals, right? That can be tracked over time. And then some of these are dashboards, everybody can see where everyone has reached when it comes to the goals that have been set. And also the fact that we know that performance needs to be continuous, right? So you don't set goals and then sit somewhere and wait probably till the end of the year to go back and track it, right? These conversations need to be ongoing, and that tools that help you to schedule feedback sessions, one-on-one sessions with the team from time to time, so that everybody knows what is going on. They are receiving the support that they need, and consistently we are ensuring that the goals, the team goals, and the business goals are aligned, right? And once these conversations keep going on, you're sure that performance will be getting better and better for the business. Another key part has to do with learning and development. Most people are looking out to work with companies that support their learning and their growth. So for most people, if you hire candidates that are really good, they're always asking, how can I grow in this business? It's why it's important that you have these kinds of tools that can help you to ensure that people are learning and people are growing. Now, we do have so many platforms that help us to create continuous learning for people, so they can access these courses by themselves. Given that we give set budgets, they can access these courses by themselves, determine what their needs are, and start to get the learning that they need to be able to grow consistently in the business. And with these platforms are way more affordable than what you would have done traditionally to schedule a whole session with everybody, provide food and all those things. We can shift from that and use actual tools, these technological tools and platforms for it. And then also with data-driven decisions, right? Like I was saying, we no longer have to rely on what we think, how we feel, right? And so it's important that you have tools that can help you to collect data, collect feedback from people, and then you analyze and make decisions for your team. For instance, you have to determine what the benefits or what benefits your team would most appreciate, right? Then you can sit down and then write them for yourself, or you can involve them in the process by asking them, hey, which ones would you appreciate most and why? And that alone can help you to make better decisions for the team, and they would appreciate that a whole lot more. And then finally, with compensation and benefits, I feel like that area needs to it comes with a lot of technicalities. I've experienced situations where I've had business owners who thought that the deductions for pensions had to be the whole amount from the employee. And it was being done for years, right? Because they did. But if they had a tool, it could have been easily resolved, right? So it's important that you start looking around to see whether there are tools and platforms that can help with payroll management, and it makes things completely easy, right? You can literally automate some of these things so that as soon as the month ends, your payroll is run, deductions are run, provided you're able to put in the right parameters. It should save you a whole lot of time to do other things that will be more important for the team's development and for their growing.
Right, right. And lastly, I'm sure this question is on everybody's mind. In Ghana, is there any future for these tools, these HR tech tools?
Yes, there really is. I mean, with the fact that we have these, we have so our mobile phone penetration in Ghana, the rate of mobile phone penetration in Ghana is so high, right? So everybody has access to some form of technology, right?
Right.
And so this is one way that we know that we're sure that okay, tools or HR tools that can exist on mobile phones can be very useful to employees. Most of some of these platforms come with employee self-service. So somebody with their phone having the app can actually request for leave. We have collaborative tools that are simply apps that you can have on the phone. So tools like Slack, people can work on them. If you have project tools as well, all those can be done on the phone. So HR tools that can exist on a mobile phone will do very well in Ghana, right? And definitely we also want to ensure that feedback, learning and developments are things that we are incorporating in our businesses. And these tools that are available currently should definitely feature in our future. We should be investing more in these kinds of things. And lastly, I'd say AI, right? It's opening us to a world where we have access to so much information.
Right.
Yes, Google was giving us information, but AI has taken it like a whole step further. Right? The last time I was in a conversation where somebody was actually saying they asked AI to create a whole training program with modules, and it did an amazing job. Right, so now HR professionals have access to a world of knowledge like never before, and we can use this particular tool to help us to create to become way more efficient than we currently been in.
Right. Right. Thank you, Deborah. I think we'll go straight into the questions. Our participants have questions. And if you also have questions, participants, you'll be allowed to speak and then you can ask questions. So I think we have one question in the chat box currently. Okay. So James wants to know what your top three HR tools are, or what three HR tools would you advise anyone to look at?
Okay, three HR tools.
Yes.
Okay. So my top three, to be honest, and this is because I'm on Achieve Heroes platform, but
Right.
every time I have a client, that is one of the first tools I recommend. First of all, because it's free and it's really easy to use, and the support has been incredible for most of them, right? So, and then also with U1 Pros, also that's for most of the ones that I see, it's not in your currency, and they're able to detect your country's tax rates and things like that. So that's one of my favorites. And then the second one, I would say Bamboo HR, but it's again, it's quite it's expensive to use is what I want to say. But I mean that depends on who's speaking. So there's that. And then recently with the ATS software again, because I do a lot of some recruitment, I find it's really useful and it really helps with making things extremely easy when you want to find good talent.
Right. Right. Thank you. And if you have any questions you want to speak, you can kindly raise your hand and you'll be unmuted so you can speak. So the floor, if you have questions. So Deborah, I have so
Okay.
what advice would you a business of five who want to stay on top of business? What advice would you give each? Would you give that business?
Okay. So if you're a team of five, right, and let's just be assuming that things are going really well, I find that sometimes it means that you're extremely busy. As entrepreneurs, you're already wearing so many hats. So by all means, you want to make sure that the every time the advice for entrepreneurs that we get is automate things that you know can be automated. If as soon as something is routine, you want to be looking for a tool that can make it easy for you to make it repetitive and then it can get off your desk. So by all means, you want to find tools that can help you to automate. So what some people do is that they completely overlook the people side of the business because they have so many things to do. So instead of paying attention to performance management, training, they don't do it, right? And then they just focus on sales and marketing because they feel that's all they have time for. But it should not be like that. You can have tools that can help you automate these processes so that they become routine. And then at the same time when you are focusing on the sales and marketing side and the things that demand your attention, those other things are still being done to ensure that your people needs are met, right? And the people that are who are working for the business to grow are in a good space, uh, first of all, you are hiring the right people, you are giving them the training and the development that they need, but then it won't require as much effort and as much time as it would have required if you didn't have access to some of these.
Right. Thank you so much, Deborah. We have another question. So Ethel wants to know, can you give examples of some ATS2 softwares?
Yeah, I think there's Zoho Recruits, but I recently started to use Smart Recruits because again, most of the time I'm looking for what's most affordable because I'm working with small businesses. So Smart Recruiters is free, and so at least you have a free version that is still very very potent. So that's something you can try out. But even the full version, that's so much, and it can be very useful like Zoho Recruit, which also really helps. I think these are the two that I find very helpful.
Okay, she has a follow-up question. Also, for onboarding, can you share three tools and software?
Three. Hmm. So for onboarding platforms, um, typically what they're doing is to allow, so sometimes a tool like Bamboo HR has an onboarding section, so that when somebody comes in, yeah, they have access to what their onboarding program would be like, right? So usually they come with some of the core HR software, and it's a part of it. So for separate ones, I'll have to come back to her so that we can help her find what that would be very useful for her.
Right. Okay. So she comes back to say that it's a three list for her. So for Ethel, there's always top. It's a three list for her. It's always
Okay.
just wants to know. I know a degree in HR is not enough. What skills would you recommend to a beginner in HR?
Okay. So I don't know why she's saying a degree in HR is not enough, but then yeah, by all means, you do want to start from somewhere, right? If you've had your degree, I think now there's a lot of certification programs, right, that are being used and that are available. So for myself, I'm working on one. So you can also try to get one. This HRCI, this SHRM. All those ones can help you in terms of the practical skills that you need, and then also to enhance your credibility. And then by all means, you can get a master's degree, but I feel like a lot more of it would be practical hands-on experience, like getting to intern and work in places where you get a lot more experience and insights into what's going on. And also the world of work, because it's changing rapidly, you don't want to only focus on yes, what you read in the books, but all these articles. For me, I really like reading from Harvard Business because they're always bringing something new and something innovative about how to take care of people, how to manage teams, how to become better leaders, and all those things. And it's from there that you hear of more of the innovative things that are going on in the HR space. I hope this helps.
Right, right. So in three tools for performance management.
Three tools of performance management.
Yes, training and development.
For training and development.
Yes, as well as performance management.
Well, training and development, we have LinkedIn Learning, right? So there's Coursera, there's Udemy. I remember there was a tool, I wonder if it came out ever, but Encompass, all those things were supposed to help for people to access training courses by themselves. So those tools are there. For performance management, I remember there's a tool called Lattice. Again, Bamboo HR has it as well. Zoho HR is part of the package. So you get to select if you want their performance management options or not.
Okay. Right. Thank you. James also wants to find out how secure the data is on these platforms as HR data are sensitive.
Yeah. So I mean, again, now we're talking about the fact that they're cloud software, and so you need to. I think you need to. It needs to have when you are trying to get one. You need to find out about the provider and then get assurances from them on how the data that they are providing, they are collecting, sorry, is being stored. And you need to ensure that the security that they are providing is such that it can't be leaked and be used for things by people that are dangerous. So I think it's to be based on your research and finding out from these providers what they put in place to ensure that the data that you have is secure.
Right. Thank you so much. I mentioned early on that there's a survey in the chat box. It's just going to take a minute to fill. We want to survey better, come up with interest that we can help you grow a business. Yes. If you have any questions, you can or you can put in the chat. Do well to address the questions for. Okay. So Deborah, your if you have any.
Sorry?
Your last word. Having last
Okay.
word.
So I think my last words would be that for HR, the role of HR is changing, right? Now we are moving from just being administrative, from it being just an administrative role to become more of a strategic business partner. And I think from COVID, it became even more pronounced when now people could not come into work and we had to formulate things to ensure that people could still get work done, right? And so we need to start moving from there. And I think having these technological tools would help significantly with that because now we're not just doing so many routine tasks. Now there are platforms and tools that can do those routine tasks for us. And so now we get to focus on bringing up initiatives and strategies to help us actually support the business and to help us provide things that can help people to meet the needs of the business and as well as ensuring that their own goals and their own needs are met for a successful business eventually and then the success of the team as well. So those would be my last words. Like we need to, as much as possible, try and automate what we can automate, use technology where we can use it so that we can focus on other the specific side so that we can be more useful to the businesses that we serve as the people we serve.
Thank you so much, Deborah. I've learned a lot. My takeaway is make data driven and use data driven decisions. You mentioned that now businesses are not just hiring anyone, they're hiring people based on statistics or data they have collected previously. Also, tools used in recruitment and onboarding, even tools to track performance. You don't just set performance goals, wait at the easy, but then you can keep track of what you have achieved so far. And then you also mentioned compensation, to track compensation. I mean, that's important. Everybody wants some, so, little cash there. So something that them as well. Thank you so much. I think we have one last question in the chat box. David wants to find out, are there any ESS platforms you like to recommend? Sorry.
So let's see. Again, so I think with ESS platforms, yes, Achipro is good. I think I worked with one for SAP HR as well. All those I found them to be okay, to be honest. I wouldn't say that there's some that I've experienced that it's really horrible. At least not yet, but yeah.
Right. So the ones you've mentioned, you've used some. David wants to know if you've used any.
If I've used any. Yes, I have used some. I've used Achieve Payroll, and people are able to download their pay slips. They are able to request for leave and things like that. And even with SAP HR too, we had people upload their own documents, so it made it easier. So if ever we were requesting for a file update, they could do it from their end, and yeah.
All right, fine. All right. Thank you so much. And thank you, Deborah, for making time. We are really grateful, throwing more light tech tools using the HR space. And to you, our participants, we couldn't have made this possible without you. We are really grateful. Thank you so much. Until we come your way again with an interest, we'd like to say thank you, enjoy, and have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.